Hello, and welcome to ACS Golf. Today is the golf season's ended over here in the UK and obviously in North America, in the USA. Obviously, if you're down in Florida, where I've actually spent a couple of weeks recently, then it's still very much open. But over here and north of USA, as mentioned, it's getting a lot colder, a lot wetter. The days are drawn shorter, and so the golf season really is ended. I know a lot of us will still be playing golf over winter. I will myself, regardless of the weather. As being an old rugby man, I tend to, rain or shine, I'll be out on that golf course. But I thought it was a good time to really discuss what's been in my bag as the first when I first started these sort of series of videos, and now what's changed. Now, what is in my bag going over the winter, and what I should probably be starting with the beginning of 2023 season. So, without any more time wasted with me babbling on, first things first, driver. So, new driver in the bag. We had at the beginning of this the Mizuno STX from 2021. Please do check out Mizuno drivers, especially the more recent stuff. You can get them very cheap on eBay secondhand. I think like 150. I think I've seen the 2022 Mizunos going for about 200 at the moment, brand new on eBay. So do check them out because they're very underrated. But for me, I wanted a change from very forgiving draw bias driver, and I saw this, the PXG 0311 Gen 5, 9 degrees. Basically, there was a deal on PXG. Always have a look out for PXG for sales. This was their brand new 250 this year. Stiff shaft, more of a low spinning model. Gives me a little bit more adjustability, which I didn't have with my PXG. As mentioned in the video when I reviewed this, weights at the front there and the weight at the back. So I can adjust it more and basically just have more of a fiddle when I play around and find that best setup for myself. At the moment, I've got it at the low spinning end where I've got the two weights at the front of the model, and it works really well. Now, next club, which is now coming in and out of the bag. So before my first video, it was very much a stay in, but now it's sort of coming out, switching out, is still my mini driver. Can't go wrong with it. TaylorMade Aero Burner mini driver, stiff, 14 degrees, and I mean, I still love that white face. I really do. 14 degrees and still in there. Now, it's still in there. I did have a point where I wasn't getting on with it, but it's now back. And so basically, I use this very much for fairways where, courses where I know some of the fairways on the course are very tight. They might not be that long, so I don't need to really get the driver out to get it sort of 270. And yeah, I still love it, and it does give me that option at the top of the bag when I'm playing somewhere like Hersham around near me, where a lot of the par fours are quite narrow, the fairways are a bit shorter. It really does help with my game, and I really enjoy it. So, still very much in the bag. But on longer courses, such as Silvermere, and where they're more open, and I don't need the mini driver because it's very rare that I try and hit that off the deck, I have my 3-wood. So, this is a new addition, which I also did a video on, the TSI2. Middle of the range, so not the most forgiving, but not the most unforgiving. Quite a small blueprint, so a little bit more smaller blueprint for a 3-wood, which I do like. I mean, looking down at it is lovely. I mean, I specifically got this secondhand actually because the shaft is 0.75 inches shorter, so this gave me that little bit more control. Now, the TSR2s are out this year. So do look out for these TSIs, fairway woods or drivers, because now obviously that the new brand is coming out, people are selling the older ones, and so you can really pick up your deal on these. I mean, I paid quite a premium for this, and if I probably waited about 2 months, I probably could have got about 50 quid off. So keep your eyes out for TSIs on eBay, secondhand markets, etc., because the price of them have dropped, and they're fantastic clubs. And please do check out my review on it. Now, the next one in the top of the bag. Now, this is one of the first clubs I ever brought actually, when I started in 2020, and it's been in and out, and it's come back in to basically bridge the gap from my 4-iron in there at the moment. And If it's a longer course, my 3 wood. If it's not a longer course, a shorter course, then it's my longest club that I'd hit off the deck. And it is the Sim Max TaylorMade 3 Hybrid. Very nice looking club. Over the top there. Stiff shaft as always, Ventus. And one of the main reasons this is in the bag is because it's not only long, but it's very forgiving. I mean, it's got the twist face technology there as well. This was one of the first ever hybrids that Rory McIlroy put in the bag in 2020. It's a great club, really love it. It really does help, it gets me over the 200-yard mark easily, and from any surface. The point of being a hybrid. Now, look out for a review in the next coming weeks. Why I think, in the second-hand market, when you're trying to save a bit of money, I personally think you should be going over for this rather than the Sim 2 and rather than the new TaylorMade one, Stealth, when it comes down to hybrids, because I don't think too much technology has changed in the hybrids really, and these are really starting to come down. You can pick them for under 100 quid now easily on eBay, and they're such a good club. I mean, a few of my friends actually have them in the bag themselves. Now, moving on to my 4-iron. So this is a new addition to the bag. Now, if you watch my videos, you'll know that I'm a big Tour Edge fan. I've done a review of their driver, and I've done a review of this as well. The Ironwood. So CBX Ironwood, 4-iron, 22 degrees, hollow face. So basically it's a driving iron, stiff shaft, very light, forgiving, long, great off the tee. When you're looking for that 180, 190 for the long par threes, but then I can also hit it off the ground. Really happy. Do always look at Tour Edge. They're coming over here in the UK. I mean, obviously they've been in America for years. They're a really good brand. And do check out my review of this club because it's great. And also, I have another review coming up soon where I review their $500 3-wood they produced a couple of years ago. We're going to see. We're going to have a look at that as well. And don't worry, they're not that price normally, so you can normally get yourself a good deal on these. So do, especially over here in the UK, so do keep a look out for them. They're a great alternative to your TaylorMades, to your Pings, etc., which always keep a premium even in the second-hand market. Now, irons. Haven't changed my irons, and I can't see myself changing my irons for a while. As mentioned at the beginning of the year, I play with Mizuno MP20s MMCs. That's a 7-iron there. Multi-construct, the titanium there, titanium bar here, tungsten in the toe in the higher irons. Very much blade-like. As you can see there's the top edge. Nearly knocked the camera over, but there's the top edge. But surprisingly forgiving for what they are. So I love them because I like the fact that they are a smaller head, especially on the sole here. And so I don't worry about the ball getting, the club, getting sort of caught up in all the dirt and the ground, etc. They are forgiving for what they are. Mizuno, as everyone will know, is just feeling of them is second to none. I can't imagine anything will replace these in the future at the moment. I imagine, obviously, hopefully I'm going to get a few other irons that I'm going to test over the next year, so 2023, which, may probably suit me better for my game, but necessarily won't appeal me for the looks of them or how they feel. So these aren't necessarily in the bag for game improvement, because they do help me with some forgiveness, but obviously there's far more game improvement irons out there. But for me, it's just the look of them and the feel of them, which I love, and that's why they're forever in the bag. And I'm so used to them now. I feel like for me, they're perfect for my game. So they're great. Perhaps next year, when the new Mizunos come out, I might try and get the Mizuno Pros 223s, which are sort of that multi-construct again, and they look gorgeous as well. So maybe next year, but at the moment, no. Now come down to wedges. As you've probably seen in my first ever video, I've got a random pack of wedges, and nothing's changed from the first video now, and will most likely not change over winter. So I have my 52 gap wedge is a Ping Glide, Pin Glide Forged, I should say. Then I have a CBX, Cleveland, Sand, and then my not pitching wedge, sorry, my lob wedge, got the name of it then, is an RTX for Cleveland. Now, the idea at some point will be to have the RTXs across the bag. I do love Cleveland wedges. This I use a lot around the green, but at the moment the gapping in the wedges, even though they're higgledy-piggledy ones, actually suit my game perfectly. So I don't really want to change them at the moment. I use this for a lower sort of chip in. If I want a bit more height, I use the 60, but this I use for a lower one, which, so that's the ping, so that's the gap there, 52, which is perfect actually, because it comes in low, and especially where we are now with it being wet and cold, the ball stops a lot better. So I really do like that. And one of the main clubs that I was really thinking about and never got really around to changing was this one, just because the CBX is really quite chunky now. In the summer, especially over here in the UK, it was very, very dry, which meant the ground was really hard. So if you had chunky wedges like this, it was quite difficult to get under that ball. So it nearly came out during the summer. I nearly finally replaced it with an RTX, but I never pulled the trigger because I know that in the winter, this big chunky sole is perfect. When the ground's wet and you really want to get under the ball, it's absolutely perfect. It stops it getting sort of stuck in there. So staying in the bag for the winter, and then in the summer, I can definitely imagine these will be going. And also when I, as a high handicapper, I'm playing off 19 at the moment. When I improve, that's the best time to change my wedges. There's no point in me changing my wedges at right now when I'm trying to improve my wedge game, because it'd be wasted on me. Yes, I can generate some backspin with some of my shots at the moment, but still it'd be a waste, really. So definitely something in the future, and definitely something next year. And again, I'll get my hands on a few wedges to test and try and to see how I feel, because maybe Cleveland, even though I do love the RTXs, and I know a lot of people out there love Cleveland, they are known for their wedge game. Maybe there's some other options out there. And when it comes down, to be fair to Cleveland, if you want to get in the second-hand market, those RTX 4s, the RTX 3s, maybe the Zipcore now as well, but as they've got a new brand that's about to come out. Their price does drop quite quickly on second-hand market compared to your Pings, compared to your TaylorMades, compared to your maybe Callaway Mac Daddies or etc. So do keep an eye out for, if you want really good wages and you don't really want to think about it, don't really want to do your research, just go out there and get some Cleveland RTXs, because they are great. Now, so this is a big change in the bag for over winter. You'll know that I play with a Scotty Cameron, off my head, I think it's an X12 Phantom. That mallet style, very forgiving, like the alignment line, love it. But, and there's a big but, it's a very, 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 very soft face. Great for summer, when the ground's hard, great for summer, you can be very delicate with it and you're fine. Now in the winter though, where you need a bit more power behind it, I find that I do struggle with sort of my pace of the ball, and I can be left quite a lot short. And my putts, I've been noticing, have really been starting to rack up. On a good day, I'll be around that 32, 31, 32 mark for putts for the round. But at the moment, I've been getting over 36, near that 40, which really does destroy your score. Because, as they say, drive for show, putting for the dough. So I've actually changed this. Now, I brought this to a review on, and I will be doing this in next weekend, so it will be released. So do keep an eye out on that. It is the Bettinardi, remember the name of it, SS28 slot back. Now, this is 2019, and I picked it up. I mean, it's more of a blade-like construction, if you see there. So, but you have these fins out here that sort of give it that forgiveness, to help to give it that forgiveness, like a mallet. So it's a great club to be in between a blade and a mid mallet. So it offers me forgiveness, but but also it's just that little bit harder for me. So it's really suiting my game. I mean, I took it out last weekend and 30 putts. I mean, I can't complain about that. I was really happy. It was one of the lowest scores I've ever done. So very happy about this. And also, you know, big brand over in America. Over here, they're not too known about, but they are a premium brand. Same price as Scotty. You know, if you wanted to buy this brand new when it came out in 2019 over here in the UK, it was £360, probably around $400 in the US. And you can still buy this brand new and it's £300. I did not pay that. I paid £130 for it. So really happy that's in the bag. Lovely grip. I mean, everything about it is very premium. You see there, the head cover. There you go, USA. No, very premium. And do look out for that video next week because I'll be discussing why I think they're good, why I think you can get a deal for them over here in the UK, not necessarily the US because they're more well known, but why you can get a deal for them over in the UK and why you should look out for them because these are a premium putter and very much I think in the Scotty Cameron sort of ballpark, and we'll discuss more about him next week. So there is my updated bag for you. Now, if you like this video and you've been liking sort of my videos going forward, please do give this channel a follow. Obviously, give the video a like and also comment on any clubs you think I should be testing, maybe should be in my bag. You know, things that you hire handicappers such as myself or medium handicappers or lower handicappers out there use that have helped bring your scores down. So great. Anyway, see you soon.